And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this is a bad thing, I'm not saying that this is a bad deal, I'm saying that this could potentially be a reason that we're seeing this price drop. Welcome back to the Xbox Basement, everybody. My name is John, and I've got a mix of good news and bad news for you. And I feel like this is one of those situations where I want to give you the bad news first. However, I've got to give you the backside of why this could be bad news. But let's do the good news first. Seagate has a 2 terabyte storage expansion, and this was actually available pretty dang close to launch for the Xbox Series X and S. But the prohibiting factor was the cost. So when this originally came out, it was $360, and you could get a 1 terabyte for only $150, which of course means that you could get 2 terabytes for $60 less. And the only downside to that is that you now have 2 cards that you have to manage. And it honestly reminded me of the old PlayStation or Dreamcast days, when you had the independent plug-in memory cards and you had to swap your saves around to make space. The VMUs were especially terrible about that because you could only get 1 game on there, and as much as the Dreamcast was a precursor to the Xbox, that is not what this video is about. This video is about the fact that you can finally get the 2 terabyte version of this for only $250. It is finally a better value to just buy 1 card. And just as an aside, there are other options by Western Digital. They do offer it in a half size of 512 if you genuinely feel like you just don't need another 1 or 2 terabytes. However, I do have a question, and I know what you're thinking. You said, John, this would be bad news. This seems like really great news. And it is great news until you start thinking of the next generation. And I did a video all about why we don't see any 4 or 8 terabyte expansion cards. You can check out that video right here if you want to see all the details. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. I'm not saying that this is a bad deal. I'm saying that this could potentially be a reason that we're seeing this price drop. Now, we are already expecting at the end of this year to see new consoles on the market. So this is Microsoft's mid-gen device lineup, and when I was thinking about this 2 terabyte card, I was looking at this connectivity. And of course, we're getting better Wi-Fi, a USB-C port, but nowhere on this list is the expansion bay. Now, I understand that that does not mean that there will not be an expansion bay, but we are 4 years deep, mid-gen if you will, into the next console, and they are adding a USB-C port. And these plug-and-play expansion drives use the NVMe, which is pretty dang good. We can get about 3 gigs or 7.5 gigs, and we can expect the newest USB-C connectivity technology on this Xbox. So I would expect it to have these specs right here, Gen 4, which will do up to 120 gigabits a second. You guys know how I love my calculators, and if we take gigabit to gigabyte, we're gonna get 15 gigabytes a second for this USB-C transfer speed. So the real question is, do we need these expansion cards anymore moving into the future? Is this just gonna be a one-off thing that only works for this generation? Kind of like the play-in charge cables that we saw with the Xbox 360. Or the Kinect. But all bad moves aside, I think this is a step in the right direction. USB-C is massively becoming more universal now, and if we can take an exterior drive and run our current highest end gen games off of it, I think that is going to be great for the Xbox community as a whole. But if you guys need some storage right now, check out that deal for only $250 for 2 terabytes, and let me know your thoughts on this video. I've been John, by the way. We will see you guys in the next one.